And now we talk about the Tide. What a run so far by Nate Oats' team. Lost so many great players and so many coaches, and still back in the Sweet 16, taking on the number 1 seed, North Carolina. Coach Oats joins us now. Coach, thanks for the time. I know it's really a busy time. Good afternoon, and how do you feel about where everything is right now?
Thanks for having me on, Paul. Yeah, it's busy, but it's good to be on. I shoot. Thankful to be in the Sweet 16. You don't take those for granted. I think there's only been 4 of them since 1991 at Alabama. They told me, so we're not going to take them for granted. But we'd like to go to the Elite Eight and make a Final Four run if possible. So, our guys are locked in. At this time of the year, it's hard to be 100% healthy, but I think we're fairly healthy. And shoot, North Carolina's a good team, but I think we got a decent game plan for them, and I think we're playing our best defense right now, which is where we need to be. And if we get our offense back going, I like our chances.
Coach, I'm curious about one aspect of what you're doing. You start out, I think, in Spokane. Now you're still on the West Coast. How did you handle that from a planning and travel standpoint?
Yeah, as soon as we saw it come out, the bracket, and so they sent us to Spokane, and then we had a Friday, Sunday deal in Spokane, and then in L.A. it started Thursday. We just decided that we were going to stay out west. So, we got done playing Sunday night. Then Monday afternoon, we took a flight straight from Spokane to L.A., got in here last night. We actually took the players to a Clippers game. We kind of took an off day. We didn't do anything basketball-wise yesterday, and now today we're going to get back at it. Showed video, just got out of practice. We're able to practice at USC's gym, and I didn't want to fly all the way back to Alabama, be there for like one day, and then turn around and come back here. So we just stayed out here.
Yeah, no, that's a smart thing to do because that is Spokane to Tuscaloosa. I'm guessing 4, 5, 6 hours. That's a lot to deal with. And I'm curious, going to the Clippers game. What is it like to when these guys get face to face on a famous court like that with the best of the best?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We've taken the guys to an NBA game before, but we actually got decent seats here. It's kind of nice to be in. It's like the Crypto.com arena, but it used to be Staples. It was, it's been some big time games there, and then it was a good game. It's the Clippers against the Pacers, and Pacers look good. Halliburton's good. These guys looked up to him, and kind of hearing their comments about which guys actually play hard and which guys don't. And they're disappointed in how hard. I'm like, yeah, you don't have the same label as him. But yeah, it was a good game. The Pacers put up a lot of points, so it was a fun game to be at.
Coach, you have played so many great teams this year, and you're familiar with North Carolina, but this is different now than a game in the regular season, and certainly you played a great non-conference schedule. But how do you attack a game like this? You've been here before a couple of times. You know what it entails, but it is a very big stage.
Yeah, the good thing with us is we played 3 really good non-conference teams, like back to back to back, that all had really good post players, and they're all in the Sweet 16. And we also played Clemson, who had P.J. Hall, and conference that we had to guard. So Carolina's got Armando Bacot. We've been in these games. Now we haven't been as successful as, we went 0-4 in those 4 games, but we've played guys like this. We've been in them. We were up 9 in the second half on Purdue. We've got the best big in the country. So it's not like we're going to be intimidated by, a Bacot, and R.J. Davis is good. We played one of the best wings in the country in the league, and Dalton Connect, and there's other really good players in the SEC. So now we got 2 of them on the same team. So we kind of got to put a package together that covers both Bacot and Davis. They've also got Cormac Ryan, who went 7 of 9 from 3 against us when he was at Notre Dame. Now he's at North Carolina. They've got, Ingram went 5 of 6 from 3 against Michigan State. So Carolina's Carolina. They got 5-star players, but our guys are starting to really get locked into the defensive side of it and guard. I think we can put together a scouting report that they've done. We just got to play hard for 40 minutes, which we did against Grand Canyon. Now, our offense was number one in the country for a majority of the year till Reitzel got hurt. You know, we got to get our offense back to number one in the country to go along with us playing hard on defense.
Coach, as someone who's had a lot of success in your prior stops and at Alabama in this tournament, is there a way to explain to the rest of us how different it is from a coaching preparation before the game and even during in an NCAA tournament, or is it different?
No, it's definitely different. I think there's a lot of teaching, you know, goes on during the season. Like sometimes, you know, if you're just trying to win that one game, you should call a timeout immediately. Well, sometimes it makes sense to let the players play through some stuff and figure it out on their own and learn and get better. There's no time for that in the NCAA tournament. Like the other team gets on a run, you got to burn timeout. Like we get this thing fixed immediately. You know, there's also sometimes you know really let a guy have it to let him know it's unacceptable around here in the tournament. I think we got to pump these guys full of confidence as much as possible. We're past the point of trying to make points, and no, we're all in this. We're pumping our guys full of confidence. We're basically selling them on how we're going to beat the team. You know, we're going to do this, and this, how we're going to beat them. Then when they don't do it in the game, I'm not going to lose my mind so much here in the NCAA tournament. We're going to, all right, look, we got to make this adjustment. We got it. So I think it's a little more positive. You know, when you realize you lose and go home, you got to make the adjustments quick on the fly, like right then. There's no, all right, this will be a good learning lesson after the game for the next month. There's no next month. Like, you got to win this one. So it's all in. Shoot, if you got to play a guy 40 minutes, I mean, we almost had to play Sears and Estrada 40 minutes the other night. Then they play 40 minutes because if you lose, you go home. So it's a lot more of that than there is during the regular season.
Coach, one other thing I'm curious about, and there have been some big calls, and in the SEC, you know the officials, you see them every week or two, you get to know them. Is there a way to deal or prepare or react in real time to good officiating crews? They wouldn't be there if they weren't good, but they may be foreign to what you've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, some of the guys are a little more sensitive. You try to get a little feedback on who you got, you know, and they don't know you as well either. So you just got to be, you know, you got to make your point with them without being too demonstrative, and then you got to adjust. I think, look, none of the refs are bad, like you said, coming in, but the issue is the referees haven't worked together either. They're pulling guys from this league, that league, so you'll get one guy calling it super touchy on one end, and then, you know, if he doesn't get to the other end quickly, you got another guy. I mean, it's like bang calls that aren't being called the same way because, you know, this guy's been super picky all year, and then this other guy's let everything go all year, and neither one of them are bad refs, but no consistency within the crew is a little bit frustrating to the players, to the coaching staff, and that's where you got to kind of, you know, I got banged with a tee last game. That was the issue. Neither one of them are bad refs, but they're both, you know, it's not consistent within the crew, and I think that's where the issues kind of get a little frustration comes up with.
Final question, too, with Nate Oats, the head coach of Alabama out in L.A. Coach, I realize when you're coaching a team in the NCAA tournament, you're not spending much time doing anything else, but you are a coach in the SEC, and you can't help but notice what else is going on. And I know how the coaches feel about the league because we were up in Nashville 2 weeks ago, and I think everyone agreed how great this league has been. But when you see some of the bizarre results as we saw last weekend, Thursday, Friday, as the weekend rolled on, I mean, do you agree there's a narrative out there that maybe this league wasn't as good? How do you respond when you see some really bizarre and freaky upsets?
I mean, our league was good. I mean, we demonstrated it through the course of the year, and in these one-game elimination tournaments, anything can happen. And I didn't see, like you said, I'm prepping for my own game. I didn't see all of our league games, but I saw enough. I mean, Hanlag breaks his leg and is out for Florida. Well, he was a big part of what Florida was doing. So that didn't help, and they still almost won their game in overtime against a really good team. So, Auburn kid gets thrown out 3 minutes into the game. He was a big part of what they had going. That didn't help them at all. I would have, my guess would be if he wasn't thrown out, that game might have gone a different direction, particularly how close it got at the end. Dude, even the Texas A&M game, I mean, they took Houston to overtime and very easily could still be alive. And it was only us, A&M, and Tennessee that were left, after the first round, which is a little disappointing because I thought some of these teams were a little better. And if things had gone a little differently, I think we would have had some different results. So I don't, we're going to have to shoot. The best way to have 4 or 5 teams in the Sweet 16 is to try to get 8 again next year, put 8 or 9 in again. And, hopefully the injuries, we get a little more fortunate with some injuries, but we just got to keep plugging away. I mean, I think SEC basketball is on the rise. We've shown that since I've gotten here. I mean, Kentucky is one of the best programs in the country. They were unfortunate. I mean, it'd been nice to see them make it. I think there's enough teams that were like one play away. We just got to keep plugging away, and we'll get the most teams in the Sweet 16 here one of these years here pretty quick.
Well, the narrative could change pretty quickly with a win or two by your team in Tennessee. So not to give you that burden. You've got enough going on. But thank you for making time, and we can't wait for Thursday night. And all the very, very best, Coach.
Yeah, hopefully by next week the narrative's fully changed. Hopefully us and Tennessee both not rattle off 2 wins, and I'm with you. But appreciate you having me on. I'll jump on whenever you need me to jump on it. It's great listening to your show when I'm not on it. So have a great afternoon. Appreciate it, Paul.